Hello, fourth grade. For this lesson, for 2-4, we're going to be working on adding greater numbers together. So we're either adding a greater amount of numbers, so adding not just 2 digits or 2 numbers, maybe adding 3 numbers, or just adding really big numbers. So let's go ahead and take a look at our video lesson.
Plans for remodeling a sports stadium include adding an additional 19,255 seats. How many seats will be in the remodeled stadium? What sum do you first need to find before calculating the number of seats in the remodeled stadium? You need to find the number of seats in the original stadium. The number of seats in the original stadium is 20,000 plus 4,595 equals 24,595. You can use a variable to represent the unknown value. Which part of the bar diagram represents the total number of seats in the remodeled stadium?
Select your answer.
You can use an algorithm to solve. Remember, an algorithm is a set of steps used to solve a math problem. Step 1. Use the standard algorithm for addition. Which numbers are in the ones places? Why do you need to align place values before adding?
So this is something important that we've talked about before, where we always need to line up our place values. You want to make sure you're aligning your place values because you want to make sure you're adding the correct place values to each other. The ones can only be added to the ones. The tens can only be added to the tens. The hundreds only to the hundreds, and so on. So we always start to line up our numbers from our ones place, from our smallest place value.
5 and 5 are in the ones places. You align place values in order to add correctly.
You can add 2 or more numbers when you line up the numbers by place value and add one place at a time.
First, add the ones and regroup if necessary. Then add the tens and regroup if necessary. Then add the hundreds and regroup if necessary. Step 2. Add the thousands and regroup if necessary. Add the 10,000s and regroup if necessary. The remodeled stadium will have 43,850 seats. Step 3. Estimate the sum. Why is it important to estimate the sum?
Now remember, one of the things we were working on in our previous lesson is we estimated the sum to check our answer. We were checking to see if the answer we got was reasonable or if it made sense that it could be the correct answer.
Use an estimate to check if your answer is reasonable. 43,850 is close to the estimate of 44,000, so the answer is reasonable.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get into our guided practice as soon as we go over our notes. Now, our notes for this lesson, we have our lesson number and title at the top, adding greater numbers. And we talked about a couple things. We talked about variables. So a variable is a letter or a symbol that's used to represent an unknown number. It's basically what you're putting in place of something when you don't know what that something is. So if I say 5 plus a number, I put the variable a. I put the letter a because I don't know what that number is. 5 plus a equals 8. Now I know that if I count up from 5, 6, 7, 8, I counted up 3 times. So 5 plus 3 equals 8. And I found out that a was equal to 3. 5 plus 3 equals 8. We also talked about algorithms in this lesson and in our previous lesson. An algorithm is a set of steps that you follow to solve a problem. So if I want to find the sum of 30,283 plus 63,423 plus 6,538. Now notice these numbers don't all go out to the same place value. This only goes out to the 1,000s, where these two numbers go out to the 10,000s. That's why we always need to stack in place value order. My ones always stack on top of my ones. This is my starting point. My tens, my hundreds, my thousands, if I have 10,000s, if I have 100,000s, and so on. But you need to start from your smallest place value, and they all need to line up. Each group needs to be lined up together so that you know that you're adding them in the correct order. Now, let's start adding. We have 3 plus 3 plus 8. I know 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 8 is 14. So I put my 4 over here, I regroup, and I carry that 1. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13, plus that 1 on top is 14. So I put my 4 here. Again, I need to regroup and carry the 1. Anytime your number is a 2-digit answer, you're going to regroup the number, the bigger place value over to the next side. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. So put the 2 here, carry the 1. 0 and 1 is 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. So I put my 0 over here, carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10. Since I don't have anywhere else to regroup, I'm going to write the whole 10 right here. So 30,283 plus 63,423 plus 6,538 is equal to 100,244. Now let's take a look at our guided practice questions over here. For our guided practice, number 1, it says, when adding 36,424 and 24,482, why is there no regrouping in the final step? So there's no regrouping in the final step of this one because those numbers don't add up to a number greater than 10, but also because there's nowhere to regroup. So, and there is no place value to regroup to. There's nowhere for that number to go. So when I add those two numbers together, my sum was 60,904. For number 2, science volunteer teams cataloged 7,836 species of insects and 4,922 species of spiders. How many species did the volunteers catalog? So we want to find the sum. We want to find out all together. So I'm going to get in a little bit closer over here so you can see my adding a little bit more clearly. Now we stacked our two numbers. We put them in place value order, right? The ones are on top of the ones, the tens on top of the tens, the hundreds, and then the thousands. So I started adding from my smallest place value. 6 plus 2 is 8. I just dropped the 8 down there. There's nothing to regroup. 3 plus 2 is 5, nothing to regroup. 8 plus 9 is 17. So there's my 7, and I regroup the 1. And then 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. Now, since there's nowhere to carry that next digit, I just put the whole 12 down here. There's nowhere to regroup it to. Number 3, find each sum, check that your answer is reasonable. So again, we stacked our place values. 6 plus 2 is 8. 2 plus 8 is 10. Put my 0, carried my 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. Plus 3 is 13. Put my 3, carried my 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. Nothing to regroup there. And then that 1, since there's nothing to add to it, it just drops down into that place. I can check if it's reasonable by saying 14,926 is close to 15,000. 15,000 plus, this is close to 3,000. So 15,000 plus 3,000 is 18,000. And I know 18,000 is close to 18,308, so my answer is reasonable. Number 4. Again, we stacked our numbers. 6 plus 7 is 13, put my 3, carry my 1. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 0 is still 6. 1 plus 6 is 7, 3 plus 1 is 4, 2 plus 7 is 9, 4 plus 5 is 9. So if I want to see if that's reasonable, I can round to my thousands or 10,000s or 100,000s, find my estimated sum, and I'll find that it's close to this number. Numbers 5 and 6, we're working through the same way. 3,258 plus 1,761, stack in place value order, ones on top of ones, tens on top of tens, and then I start adding. 8 plus 1 is 9, 5 plus 6 is 11, so I put my 1 here and I regroup and carry my 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 7 is 10, put my 0, carry my 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5. And for the last step, or for the last question, we're doing the exact same steps. Adding and regrouping as necessary until we find our sum. That's it for this lesson for adding greater numbers. So if you're adding 2 sets of numbers, 3 sets of numbers, whatever amount of numbers you're working with, remember you must always stack in place value order. That is the most important thing. If you're adding the wrong place values together, your answer will be incorrect. All right, that takes us to the end of our lesson for today. If you have any questions, 4th grade, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day. Please make sure you're doing all of your work neatly, that you're writing down your notes in your notebook, and that you're practicing your math every day. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.